I made this very cute little thing for my headphones. It's a little leaf thing that you can attach to your headphones. I'm going to take it off to show you exactly what it looks like when it's off. So it's basically just two leaves with a what is this called? Is it like a fishtail bracelet? So I'll put it aside. For this you'll need obviously like a loom. Then I also have some rubber bands. You use the color of your choice, truly. For the fishtail, I think, part, I use this lovely little blue thing that came with the original package, because these were the first tool that I used to make some simple rainbow loom bracelets. And I much prefer the design of these because it's like it's got a little handle, a little hole in there so your bracelet can go in if you wish. I usually don't do that because I don't like it. And the little pegs that you can use for really picking them up, or using your hook to really hook them up. That's what I really liked about this design compared to whatever the fuck this is. And you're obviously going to need your hook. And I also have a second one. I don't think you're gonna need a second one truly, but it's just I feel like some things are going to be easier to demonstrate with two hooks, and we're not going to need any S clip, C clip, G clip, whatever you use. So we're going to need, yeah, this number of bands. So we're gonna start with the loom facing away from us, which in that case I'll put myself like this. Yeah. The first bands, instead of going just diagonally like this, you're going, by the way, you're using double bands for now. You're going to go on the second peg to make a bigger diagonal line. Yeah. Same thing on the other side. And down. And we're gonna go down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, to the 11th peg. Okay, so because the first tutorial was made by I don't remember and I can't search it up because I don't, my phone is literally hanging from the ceiling. I'm going to insert a picture. It's pathetic. But yes, it's made by another user several years ago. And this tutorial had really few views. But I thought it was a really great tutorial. And I'm just basically using the same design. All credits to the creator. And making it slightly bigger because I feel like the leaves were originally a bit too short for something that goes on the headphones. The leaves were too small, not noticeable enough. So I'm making them bigger, and if you want to use the entire loom, you absolutely can, actually. It's just that it's going to increase the number of bands you're going to use, obviously. So, yeah. Now we go down to the 11th peg. You can start with whichever row you want. There's literally, it doesn't matter for this step. I'm going to get my remote because right now I'm just going to, do a speed up, a time lapse. I'm sorry, English is my first language. It's my second one because I'm Canadian. And yeah, I'm going to get my remote because I have South Park in the back, but I don't want the show playing while I record this because of copyright. Once you reach this part, you're not going to loom to the 11th peg on the left and right row. Instead, you'll go diagonally from the 10th peg to basically like mirror the other side of the loom to make a leaf. Now we're going to start adding, we're going to switch to triple bands for this, because what we're going to do is add some sort of like triangular shapes on the loom to make the leaves a tiny bit more rounded, so they look a bit more full. But if you want them really more thin, you can skip this step. Sorry, I thought I was getting a call. So you skip the first peg with elastics on either the right or left side. You skip this one, you go on the second one, and you take these two, so the next one under, and you go on the middle peg that is the closest, like on the middle, to create a triangle shape. And you're going to push your bands down a bit. It's going to help. Now we're going to overlap on the third peg with elastics. Overlap and create another triangle with a triple band. Did I take a triple band? Yeah, I did. Okay. And a last one. Overlapping again. And now you can switch your loom. And mirror on the other side. With triple bands, of course. There we go. And now we're going to place the... How could we call those? How do we call those again? Supporting band. I don't know, okay? We're going to add some more triangles to this whole thing. So now we're going to use single bands. And we're going to go to the peg under our triangles, go across, and take the bottom band and make a triangle like this. Again. Oh. And a last time. And we're going to take one last single band. We're going to twist it once. And we're going to make another triangle on the first pegs with elastics here. Go across again. It's the same thing, but just that the rubber band was twisted on itself. And again, you're going to take another single band, twist it on itself once, and make a cap band which is going to be used for the entirety of the project. This is the only cap band we're doing, technically. So now that we are done with the band placement, we can face the loom towards ourselves and go with the first 2 bands on top. You can hold your cap band down to make it stay in place, and you put it whichever way it goes. For me, it went to the right, but it could go on either way, it doesn't matter. Then the next two bands, I'm sorry for stuttering, and we loom them on the respective side. And the way you know that it's which way you need to place it is basically when you take the 2 bands, you watch where the attaching bands lead to, on which peg it goes, and you place it on this peg. And the rest is super easy. We're just going to loom on the next peg, just like normal. There's no special looming pattern for this. So I'm going to start with the left side. So take the 2 bands going under everything and place it on the next peg. Now you go under the triangle band here, go under, take the next 2 bands, loom on top, again, under the triangle, take the 2 bands, next peg on top. Now that we're on the triangles, the small triangles to make the leaves fluffier, I guess, we just go under these 3, I'm sorry, these are triple bands. Take the 2 under and loom them on the next peg. And if you feel like your elastic is a bit too stretched, you can place your hook under, go on the other side and just stretch it upwards like this, and then go back. And it's going to make the band you just loomed a bit more loose, and it's going to reduce the risk of the bands breaking. So again, under the first 3 bands, the 2 under, loom on top, and I'm doing this just in case, because I really hate it when my projects break in the middle of me making them. So under the next 2 bands. And before looming them, you can also just give them a little tug. It's going to help them loosen up as well. And if you still feel it's too tight, you can loosen them up with the hook afterwards. The next 2 bands under the twisted rubber band. And you can see that this one leads to the first peg with the little arrow. So I just loom it here. There we go. Now I'm going to do the middle one, I guess. So we go under. Whoa. Okay, so you go under the first 2 bands, because these 2 bands are basically your cap band, and you take the 2 under, loom on top, and I highly suggest that you loosen your double band and just slide it on the next peg. It requires too much strength for the bands to keep being stretched in this position, and it puts a bit too much stress, and it can cause them to break again. So yeah, it just makes them loosen up, and especially because the cap band will be used multiple times throughout this project, so I feel like this is a precaution to take. And we repeat what we did on the left for the right side. And once you're done looming the leaf, you take a double band. Well, basically you take two bands. That's what I mean. Slide your hook under. Take your two bands and slide it in between all the bands, and now you can take the two sets of bands and just put them in a slip knot. The reason I take two bands instead of one is because there are a lot of bands on this peg. So just to keep it like extra secure, I put two bands. It's not necessary, but I like to do it this way. And now you can use your hook to remove the first bands, and the rest will come off practically on its own. Give it a little stretch. And for these two bands, we're going to take our hook, bring them in the bands, really like inside. I take a few sets like these. I take my hook, and I have a weird grip, but I feel like it goes easier like this, and voila. Now we have to be a bit like careful here because it can be a bit risky, they can break. And sometimes they're going to like pop back out. It's okay, you can just go on the other side. Take your bands. And pull it through. And we have our first leaf. We're going to put it aside. Here, I guess. And we're going to do the same exact leaf. Like I said, we're going to use the same cap band. And I just stretch it like this for technical purposes, or else the leaf would just be in my way on this peg. So loom the first. Oh, see, that can happen. So you can just hold the cabin in place. Loom the first two. And now I'm going to loosen it up a bit because it's still like a double band. And we're going to do the exact same thing as we did previously. Congrats, you now have a double leaf. However, if you wear them like this, they're going to be a little bit floppy. So if that's what you want, you can skip this section and go straight to the fishtail. But what I'm going to do is take a simple rubber band, and I'm going to attach the two leaves together. So if you put the band lower, they're going to stand a bit further apart. If you get them a bit higher, they'll stand about here. And it's basically going to look like my leaf, this exact one. And if you put them even higher, then they're really going to be stuck together tightly. So if that's what you want, you can put it really high up here. But I'm going to go in between. So for this part, I think it's better to really look on the side of the leaf. You take the last set of 3 bands, and you take the first 2 bands. You go over the first 3 bands, and you take the first set of 2 bands again. So you have 2 sets of 2 bands on your hook. Do this on the opposite side. Last set of 3 bands. Take the first 2 bands, go over first 2 bands again. So now you have 4 sets of 2 bands on your hook. You take your single rubber band, fuck. Alright, instead, take 1 set of 2 bands, slide it over. Another set of 2 bands, slide it over. Set of 2 bands, slide it over. Set of 2 bands, slide it over. And we're going to put this single band in a slip knot. And now they're attached together. That single rubber band you can either cut around the knot, or you can slide it inside of the leaf. So we take our cap band, put it on one side, and we're going to twist it into an 8, like this. Put 2 more bands on top. Make sure none of them overlap, except for the 8 part here. Doesn't matter really, because we're now going to loom the cap band over on both sides. And it's going to form a slip knot. Sorta. It's just a really tight twist, so it's really secure. Then you take another band, you loom the first one on the bottom, well I mean the really bottom like bottom band, and pull it down like this. It will make more space for the other band if it feels like going on. Under, bring on top, and pull. And you're going to, now you have 1, 2, but in total it should make 35 to really wrap it around our headphones. Once you've done this like 35 times, you can take double bands and slide the 2 under over again. Now you can bring one side on top of the other, or on your hook. And this blue thing can be replaced by this horrendous thing. It can be replaced by your loom. It can be replaced by 2 fingers, by 2 pencils, 2 paintbrushes, 2 whatever. It doesn't matter really. And now you take the 2 under, bring them over into a slip knot, and tie it off. And we are done. Finally, we can put it on our headphones. Take it, put it on top, wrap over the leaves to really keep them in place. Don't be scared to stretch everything out. It's elastic anyways. Take the 2 bands that you use to close off the fishtail, slide the leaves in. And there we go. That's how we do it. What you need to know about this creation, however, is that, well, it's obviously made out of rubber bands, so they won't really last very long when they're prolonged, when they're exposed. So they won't really last long if they're often exposed to UV light, so UV rays, the sun, everything. They also need to be in a dry environment, preferably, because when they're covered in anything greasy, oily, um, water, it's really going to wear down the quality of the bands, and they're going to last a bit less. So you need to be careful with this as well. So usually, indoors would be preferable instead of being outside, and don't manipulate it when your hands are wet and stuff like that. And just like any other rainbow loom creation. And with that said, goodbye, I guess. I also forgot the importance of using bends that are not too old, because if they've been laying around for like years, they're going to become more brittle, because elastic bends are not meant to last forever. So this project is unfortunately going to come apart in a few years, probably. And yeah, you just really need to pay attention to the quality and when the bands that you're using were made.